welcome back to Real People, Real Life in Wichita, Kansas.
America. Right before we took the break, I was talking about one of the things I'd seen one of the members of Wichita Big Screen comment on, and I've not seen anybody talk about it, and I think it's worth bringing up. And so for the viewers watching this, it'll be worthwhile. Maybe give you a little bit of incentive to go. The cost of the movies. Tell us what the cost is.
It's $400 per person for the whole thing. But trust me, you get free. No, it's actually only $5 per movie, and these are not like, we're not watching like a DVD. These are state-of-the-art DCPs, and particularly in the case of Suspiria, Jaws, and Night of the Living Dead, we have anniversary 4K restorations that were meticulously done. Literally, in the cases of those three movies, I've been saying literally a lot, excuse me, I'll try to stop that. But with Suspiria, the prints we're going to show this year at the Warren Old Town will be better, technically, than if you went to see these in 1977 or 1974 or 1968. Back then, film prints would get dirty and chopped up, so your best chance to see the best presentation for a film was to see it the very first day. These prints will actually be better, sharper, brighter, more vibrant than the very first day those films showed back in the original release.
And odds are that most of the viewers that are watching this, most of the people that are going to the theater will have never seen these movies, or very unlikely that they've ever seen these movies on the big screen.
That's the thing that fascinated me about, I knew, because I myself am a big film buff, but, I was like 9 when, when Sorcerer came out, for instance. I was 8 years old. I couldn't convince my folks to go see it, even though I thought the commercial was interesting. But it was rated R, and so I never got to see it on the big screen. So it was a big deal when I finally brought it to Wichita. What I found fascinating is I figured most people, or a lot of people, particularly the younger generations, would never have seen these in a theater. And it truly is a different experience. I'd seen Blade Runner maybe 100 times, at least 50 for real. Realistically, at least 50. It could be even higher. I love that movie, and I know it inside and out. Seeing it on the big screen in that remastered print, I mean, minutes into it, just seconds into it, I was blown away by the detail I had never seen before. Just aspects of the sets, and it was just amazing. And almost every movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm a huge horror fan, and both my friend and I thought at one point, are we seeing new footage here? Because we could see things like just details of the house we could never see before. So the thing that excited me was that, well, here's a chance to see it on the big screen. A lot of people hadn't. What has blown me away is how many people I talk to who have never seen the movies at all. Like The Shining. It seems like everybody's seen The Shining at least once. But when we showed it, I had a lot of people say, I've never seen that movie at all. I'm so glad I got to see it on the big screen. And that's the case with a lot of these films.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I wanted to point to in regards to that, I don't know if you've thought about this, one of the people on the website, on the Facebook page, comment on this. Regal Cinemas has this thing, they have a movie club type thing that you can become a member of. It's really, you go online, you join it. It's like an app you can get on your phone or your computer, and you get points every time you see a movie. I think for every $1 you spend, I think you get 100 points, something along that line. And those points add up to free gifts, free movies, all kinds of free stuff. Just for signing up, you get a free popcorn.
Right.
There's all kinds of free stuff you get. And this year, you can buy the tickets for the movies in advance on the Regal website, and get point credits for your Regal club card. Which I didn't think that would be that big of a deal, but I'm already into 2 free movies and other stuff that I've gotten through being a member of that. And this will only add to that, and it's an extra perk that we get from being affiliated with Regal now.
And we didn't get with Warren. The tickets for the festival did just go on sale. Yeah. And a lot of people are saying it's a lot easier to buy than offline.
Well, there's no upcharge either.
Yeah, there's something that you actually get charged what it is, like if you went to the ticket booth. I guess previously people were spending $1.50.
Yes, it's an extra $1.50 per ticket.
On top of each ticket. So, I mean, you buy 4 tickets, you're into it for another $6. So that's a great deal. And people are saying it's real easy and the price is the same. So the tickets are already selling. And I've been really pushing Suspiria. Unfortunately, of course, Suspiria may have already happened, but all the films, every single person I talk to has a different movie they're excited about. Some are really excited about us showing the original King Kong. And the thing about King Kong, I think, I'm a big film buff, so I think people assume that I'm like, one of these guys. Well, I prefer my films black and white and silent. I'm not that guy at all. I like movies from the 70s and 80s, and but King Kong is one of those exceptions, like Psycho, where It's a film that is beyond its time. And, I've been really championing people need to go see it, because if you've enjoyed the new films, the Peter Jackson, which I wasn't a big fan of, but Kong, Skull Island, or even the 1976 remake, all of those movies pale in comparison to the original. And I'm talking about just flat out action. When the original King Kong, when it kicks in, when the action finally kicks in, it is nonstop. You're fighting monsters, you're struggling to live. At one point, they finally capture Kong, right? And they're like saying, we did it, boys. We're all going to be rich. And this time next month, Kong on Broadway. Well, in today's movies, there'd be another 20 minutes of us putting Kong on the boat and the ride home and lamenting, are we doing the right thing? Oh, poor Kong. In the original, boom. We're going to be on Broadway. The next cut, Kong on Broadway.
And
we're in New York.
Stage, yeah.
Yeah, and it's and just another 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and Kong breaks loose and action starts unleashing all over. It's a great movie.
We recently did a radio program with Andy over at KQAM, and one of the things I said that we want to make sure we did this time for the TV shows, you've had some really good sponsors come through this go around.
Well, they came through to help it. There's been a lot of factors why we lost some of our sponsors, and it had nothing to do with the festival. It had to do with some changes of what we could offer them. A lot of people are complaining about some of the changes that happened with Regal, but the more I talked to them, I realized a lot of this stuff is contracts and exclusive contracts they've had with vendors and other situations for years. So some people are saying that they think there's too many movie trailers. I myself love movies and love movie trailers. I have no problem watching.
In fact, one of the things I like about the Horrorfest is one of the extra perks sometimes is the old movie trailers.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do that this year.
Okay.
But yeah, we're hoping once we get through this year, we're going to be able to start a lot earlier next year, and we can reinstate like the retro trailers, and also if things proceed well, I'll be helping to organize the whole national festival, or I'll get fired this year. And if that happens too, you know what? I'm still happy because we're going out with a bang. We're all over the country. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I'm solely about the movies. If I can ever make a buck doing this, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. We also, one thing people have asked about, like whether I make money on this. My expenses get covered, but one thing we love to do is also raise money for worthy causes. And we start with Mosaic, which is a wonderful organization that my friend Mike Furches here runs. And that was recommended to us by the friends at Fox. But later, as we were discussing doing the next year, it became clear that Bill Warren is a big animal guy. He loves animals, and he'd prefer for us to do an animal shelter. And Lap Animal Shelter was recommended to us from our friends at Fox, and so for the last 5 years, we've been raising funds for Lap.
And whether they're no-kill, they're the only no-kill animal shelter in the area.
They've been for years, and I believe that's still the case. Yeah. They still are definitely no-kill, and I believe they're the only one. The woman who runs it was a nun for 30 years. And she changed her life and went a different direction, and now she's devoted. She's a teacher at WSU, and she does this. It's a very grassroots organization, but they do everything they can to save the animals, and they have all types of animals. They save anything that needs, any creature that isn't violent or anything that they can help. When I went, they had a pot-belly pig, and they had a goat, these animals that had been abandoned. And so they're expanding. They keep on. They're actually getting enough support that they've expanded more kennels and all. And we do what we can. Sometimes we can only give them about $1,000 that we raise. We just take donations. We ask people donate $1 or $2 when you buy your ticket. They'll ask you, do you want to donate to Lap?
Or more if they want to.
Yeah, they're more than welcome to. And but we also have been selling posters with the proceeds going to Lap. And we also this year we just found one of our sponsors. That came in the last minute to kind of save us was World Studios ICT. It's a green screen company here in town, and they do a high-end 4K digital green screen for you can have somebody talking and put them the background, make it outer space or Paris or whatever. It's really clean and a very comfortable way they set up for production. Well, they got so excited about this because I gave them the posters and everything else. They've now designed T-shirts and just for their crew. But then the more expanded, they did one for the Horrorfest, they did one for one, and now we're talking about printing more T-shirts and selling them to people who want them, and the proceeds, the profits, anything that above the cost would go to a lap animal shelter.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Make sure they put a bigger size in there for somebody like me, and you know,
Well,
I'll get one for sure.
They already asked if I was going to have one. I said, well, I tell you what, make it an XL. My wife looks really cute in all the swag everybody gives me, and eventually I'll get small enough again. The shirts were so cool. That's exactly what I told the guy. I said, I may have to lose weight just so I can start wearing my own festival T-shirts.
Hey, I wouldn't mind losing weight, but I'd still like to wear one as big as I am. So
sure.
2 or 3 eggs.
They're really cool. I just got. It was in the middle of the night last night, like 3 a.m. when I opened the designs, and so we're still talking about how we're going to present them, but they're really cool.
I want to try to frame some of this up, just so our audience is more clear than I've been. We're talking about the Monday and Tuesday of each week in October.
That's correct.
Now, depending on the airing of this show, you may have just missed Suspiria.
Right.
But Fright Night would be Tuesday, October 3rd, then, if this airs that Tuesday morning. If not, you've missed that too, I guess. But anyway, then we move to the second week in October.
Stephen King weekend.
That'd be the 9th, and Stephen King dominating with The Dead Zone and Pet Sematary.
A double feature for 10, and that'd be $10.
That's $10, 2 movies, 5 a movie.
Yep.
But that's a great double header right there. Then we move to Tuesday the 10th, and The Monster Squad will be on.
Big cult movie. A lot of my younger friends. I'm just a little bit too old for it, but a lot of my friends are just a couple of years. They love it.
It's it is, if you will, in some ways a kids horror, mid-teen.
Yeah,
it's a fun movie. I enjoy
kids
it.
fighting monsters. It's a fun movie, and it's for a family. We actually have a few more movies this year that families can come to.
If I've got a favorite, it's going to be the doubleheader on Monday, October 16th, King Kong and the Endless Terror, a Nameless Horror, Them. Double feature again.
That's our...
And that would be my...
I'm excited about that one too,
favorite.
man. I really am. I mean, we have the Stephen King double feature.
Well, Andy should be excited about them. You know, nothing like army dudes fighting giant spiders.
Exactly.
And stuff.
I mean, hey, come on. There's nothing better right there.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, Kong, I mean, that's our giant monster double feature.
Right.
And we have Kong, as I just talked about, but them, a lot of people don't know them actually influenced James Cameron in the making of Aliens. If you think about it, you got military guys with machine guns in tunnels fighting giant insects. Well, the aliens generally turned into giant insects back in that film, and you can see it. You can see the influence clearly when you're watching scenes from it. Very exciting.
We're going to roll to Tuesday the 17th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
The original.
A great classic movie.
I hate that movie. It gave me nightmares.
I hate that movie. It did its job.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up and come back and finish it up because we're about ready to take a break. And we'll come back and finish out the week. So if you want to go to Horrorfest to get Nightmares, Nightmare on Elm Street will do it for you. It's
a great movie.
Actually, it's a classic.
It's a great. I watching the trailer for it. I was reminded how awesome it is.
We'll take a break and be right back with Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas.
America.
America.